Alright guys, here we go. This is the return of Inside Star Citizen finally, and they are talking about server meshing as we might be on the verge of going to Wave 1 for Star Citizen Alpha 4.0. This is at least what we could read on various Discord channels. We'll see if that's the case or not, but apparently this episode is dedicated to server meshing, the technology that is going to make Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 possible. Let's watch.
So it's been a while since we had you in here.
It's been
What's
such a while, I don't
happened
even
since
remember
then?
who he is.
Hi, Steve.
Attacked by hands.
Well, we all went back home and we didn't do anything for about a year and a half. And then suddenly we made server meshing happen. No.
We've been busy.
I must have
busy
recorded that
taking all
during
of the
season.
feedback and all of the data that we gathered during the last series of tech preview tests.
We've really been developing the technology and making sure it covers all the use cases that the system requires.
And rolling that forward into new and exciting stuff.
What new and exciting stuff?
Yeah, what? Come on. That's like the first real episode of the season. Server meshing 4, oh man, I'm so looking forward to my first jumps.
Ok, jump point detected! Jump point detected! Incroyable! C'est donc... Oh!
They're speaking French.
You probably noticed we are pushing player counts higher and higher as the weeks go by.
Why did we do this with real players? Why don't you guys just script something or use bots? It never matches the actual real-time environment that
Right,
players
because
can actually
players
represent.
are unpredictable,
Putting real
unlike
players
bots, that's why.
in the build is the only way to really see the true depth of the troubles that we're in.
We'll always start out with kind of a safe test at 100 players.
I love how they always display the character, like just like in the days when they had the first, pyro video in 2019 for SeasonCon 2019, right, when it was the character. That's also, this ship's always heavily featured, right? You've got to use a character for your first point jump to pyro, I suppose.
But we verify here that we haven't introduced new crashes that would detriment the experience, and that the performance is on par with what we would expect for a single server with 100 players. We let that run and soak for like 30 minutes to an hour. And then once we've confirmed that that's actually functional, then we go to higher numbers.
Initially, when we were pushing up to 500 players, that was putting a lot of burden on a number of systems. It's one of the reasons why we needed to replace our message queue.
Where now we needed more parallelism into how we shuffled messages across the hybrid, because
Oh yeah, they're talking about player count. The thing is, because I live in Asia, all those playtests, they always took place in the middle of the night for me. And then when I wake up, I take my daughter to school, I go back here, that's my only time I have to create content, guys. Only time I have. The test is over. So that's why I've not been able to try to do the server meshing playtests.
the amount of data that it has to shuffle is a lot higher than we expected.
From what I understand, same mesh, so 250, 4 servers. Right now we're at 231 players. Making our jump to Pyro system.
So we decided to take a couple of months out and completely rewrite it. We came back then
so
with what
that's
you've heard us
why.
referring to as the replication message queue, or RMQ. So RMQ is a product of the UK networking team, so that's Clive Johnson, Dave Kaplan, Jordan Wood, Nathan Matthias.
I'm so glad. This is the kind of Inside Star Citizen that we've been looking for, when they're
they really put
explaining
their heads
what's
down,
going
I think
on.
they really delivered on something that is going to scale to the
The
future.
behind
The
the
intention
scenes,
of
right?
RMQ
Not just the
was
shiny
to provide
features.
us with a more stable foundation. And going into the first test, because it being new code and it being written specially for large volumes of messages, we expected it to perform better than NMQ.
And?
It didn't.
Oh no!
RMQ is performing actually pretty good.
Okay,
The
that's good.
actual element that we identified back at the beginning of the year when we did our first server meshing test were actually solved, and we're now running at very fast speeds. But it revealed another layer of the onion.
A lot of ships over here, so yeah, probably not working, which is too bad.
Oh, right. So they are addressing here the freezes by the jump points, right? Maybe this is creating bottlenecks, I suppose.
And I have no idea what's going on. Oh, the FPS. Come back to
Yes,
me.
I've seen that. I've seen that a
Load.
lot.
We were disappointed
in
that we were still seeing
the live streams of streamers,
interaction
right?
delay. we were
have
still
access to
seeing
4.0.
high latency. On the back end, we were seeing high levels of packet loss.
You are clear to launch.
Oh no, it's gonna lock me in. I might have to grab a smaller ship or something. Why am I locked in here?
Oh, I've
So
had
hangar
this
might
many
be
times
busted.
also.
I just saw somebody else take off, so not all hangars are busted. That's not good.
Interaction delay is caused by messages taking a long time to go through the hybrid. So when you press F to open a door or exit a ship, a message is sent from your client to the hybrid, then processes the message, and then sends it to a game server and back to your client. So this loop, when it's too slow and takes time, will manifest itself as an interaction delay.
I love it. They should have more of these videos where they explain, okay, we have this bug, the elevator is not working, the door's not working. Here is why. Here's what's going on. Because these are things that have been explained, in live streams, sometimes on Spectrum, but it's only been the most hardcore people who read those messages, who read those explanations, been trying to explain that to other people who were not necessarily aware of that or did not believe what the other people were saying. I'm so glad Benoit is coming out there explaining to us what's going on, why are these issues happening, and how they are fixing it or how they have been fixed. This is great. That is proper communication. Benoit is the GOAT, man. I'm so glad that they have bought Turbulent and that Benoit is fully on board because, in my opinion, he is the guy who is really going to be able to make this project moving forward and become a reality. Without Benoit, there's no Star Citizen right now. That's my
What
opinion.
causes
But
interaction
tell me what you guys
delay
thought
from
about
the hybrid's
that in the comment section
perspective
down below.
is when we basically have a traffic jam on one thread. So the application is using multiple CPUs, but at some point in our code, the way we're processing it, we will be all jammed on one. That will create a traffic jam, which will cause the messages to take a long time to do that loop, and that immediately creates interaction delay.
When analyzing issues with interaction delay, we saw that everything that was going wrong was kind of focused in on where all of the code that runs NMQ was. So when we went to try and optimize that, we discovered that we're kind of in this dead end. We can't really figure out how to, with the structure of NMQ, improve it. So with RMQ, we kind of addressed those problems kind of at their root and really thought about how we can not end up in this dead end again.
That is the jump point. So we are going to, that is not the jump point. That is where we're going.
Okay.
Within that amazing visual, there is a delightful jump point for us to go through, hopefully. I'm not entirely sure if it's working. I know people were telling me, because it's in Evocati, which is a very early build of 4.0, sometimes it's not working, but we'll find out together.
What we expected from that is that we would be able to achieve a much higher throughput, which it does. It can achieve that. But by optimizing that, we see what was behind NMQ that was also causing issues, that wasn't getting the opportunity
Come on, they're just
to
telling
really
us what's
stretch
going
its
on, but
legs to the
how
point
did they
where it
fix
was
that?
able
What are the
to become an
reasons
issue.
why?
NMQ was at a dead end, right? There wasn't so much we could do there, just to the nature of how that had been written. The game we were building at the time when that was written, radically different.
It couldn't grow, it couldn't evolve.
Exactly. It was limited in its nature.
Our game is massively complicated.
So
we
how did they
produce
fix it
so
then?
much data
And
from everything.
how-
not just
how is
players,
this going to
NPCs,
help
from
us move
ships,
forward?
From doors, from to elevators, to just everything kind of going on. That the NMQ at least, and then the RMQ just like no.
So RMQ's focus was, yes, to immediately try and solve some of the issues we had seen, but also to provide us some room to grow. And right away, we noticed a distinct lack of parallelization when we update dirty messages.
So a dirty variable is a piece of information or a variable attached to an object that hasn't been communicated to
So it's
all
called
other
dirty
members of the
variable.
mesh.
The sync dirty stuff is just absolutely it's taking up most of the frames. So where we were originally seeing, let's say like we have this amount of space, right? We were seeing like NMQ take up this much, and then like the rest of the network update taking this much. But now we're seeing sync dirty take this much, and the rest of the network updates take this much, and then RMQ just this tiny little sliver now.
So
we've
that's why
addressed
they have lots of
RMQ, but,
frames, or that's why
underneath
performance is
all
so
of this,
bad?
there was this other problem that never really got the chance to generate that load.
Oh, it's just closed. Huh.
Also, that's why people got stuck
Oh,
like
no.
that. I see.
Okay, lining up. Oh my god. Entry requirements met. Oh my word, this is happening.
Yeah, it's
Tuning
happening after how many
complete.
tries.
Oh, the music is actually giving me shivers down my spine.
By the way, a big shout out to all the Evo caddies, the real Evo caddies, not the fake ones who've just been invited because they are streamers. Not like me. I never had any relationship with CIG, by the way. So there's no such thing as there is streamer privilege, but only for a few. Not all of us are in the same basket. But the real Evo caddies who've been doing all the work, all the testing, all the issue council reporting, right? These guys, they are the unsung heroes, and I just wanted to again say all my appreciation to all these guys because they are doing such an amazing work that probably would make us save a lot of time for the development of the game. Definitely.
So we fix this by parallelizing the work or optimizing the work that's happening in that thread so that it goes faster. And so there's multiple approaches to this, but the number one thing that we've been doing in the first series of tests have really been optimizing and parallelizing the work for synchronizing dirty variables.
Parallelizing this allows us to add more lanes. It's just like going from a single lane road onto a highway. We can just handle much more at the same time.
So the server needs to send out any change that happens to the game, you move, you shoot, and send it to every other client that can also see that.
So that's
that
what the
entity.
replication
What
layer was
happens is
supposed to
that
do
then needs to
originally,
go
right?
through
So
every
they had to
single
change
client
that
and go, "Oh,
architecture.
can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? And then synchronize dirty state. That then is what produces the message that updates you. What's a really, really easy optimization to make there, especially at higher player counts, is we can just go, oh, every single client we can do at the same time. They're not modifying any data, they're just reading it, because that's what sending it out is. You're just reading the data. And reading the data just reading the data, not modifying it, means that we can run all of that information at the the same time. So with not
so that's
too much
why
work,
we're getting
we
with
can
a much
get
higher
a really,
player
really
count.
big optimization.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Opening
why
jump
we're gonna
point.
get,
Guys,
250
what the heck,
at
man? This is
4.0 and
next
then
level. Entering jump tunnel.
After that first wave of parallelization, we've seen some immediate benefits.
It's feeling really good. Server's feeling good. Knock on wood, no server errors so far, no crashes, stuff like that. So I appreciate that greatly.
We started to see reductions in those key metrics for interaction delay and game responsiveness and packet loss.
yeah, it has. It's true
was
that in
quite
the past
dramatic
couple of
exit.
days,
I got
2
very
weeks I
lucky.
would
I
say,
didn't
it's
just get
definitely
slammed
been
into one of these
much better.
asteroids.
Can you hear me? Jump if you can hear me. I'll jump again if you can hear me. Oh, nice, you can hear me, let's go.
Things were showing
Sometimes
signs
people
of
have been doing that
improvement.
to
So
me
you're
too.
seeing
Like, if you can
push
hear me jump,
the
and I've been
player
doing
count
that
up
too. But
again.
that was in
This
the
is our
PU.
first
It's
test
good to see when
going
VoIP
past
is
1,000
working.
players. And pretty rapidly, we ran into the next bottleneck, which was the binds. And a bind, in very simple terms,
what's that?
is effectively the connection between your client and your view of the game world to the server's view of the game world. So
Oh,
if
so
I
it's
see a coffee
desync,
cup on
right?
the table in front of me, it's because my client running on my computer has bound over the network to the server's view and knowledge of the existence of that entity.
All right.
So you get ahead.
here
Your
we go
client
with
gets ahead
more
of the server in
FPS
terms of what you are
drops.
seeing.
Huzzah. It's
yeah,
primarily
the
the
frames
meta
per
player
second
is.
here is
It's
pretty
terrible. Ooh, what is this? Open. Ooh, fuses.
Oh yeah,
Down
gonna have
with
to
your
fix those
quality.
fuses, right?
In our game, we have a lot of entities. Last time I checked, Stanton was at well over 1 million in an average kind of game session, and numbers just get bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah, that's a lot of game sessions, right? But it's true that entities are over. The numbers of entities are going over the roof, especially in Pyro, and you see those stations, and they got so much detail, so much more details compared to what we have in the standard system, that they need to drastically improve performance, even with server meshing, right? They're probably going to have one server, one station, because of all the entities that these servers are going to have to handle.
Ivan said there were a million entities. That's like starter numbers, right?
So so that was just with Stanton. So Stanton, initially when we seed Stanton, so seeding is like just us putting all the
Yeah,
initial
when it
state
starts, when the game
that
session starts.
is about
server starts.
720,000 entities.
I am at area 18. So now we're gonna have another experience. Oh my god.
AI definitely feels a lot more variety. That's good. Looking good.
I love that the AIs are talking.
Just walk right through me. Jeez.
After a little bit of soak time, so
Yeah, the
say
NPCs
a
are
week,
doing stuff
we
now.
see that very, very quickly grow to around 3 million entities per shard. So yeah, things grow pretty quickly, and like from there, we see things kind of continue
And then we're gonna
to
have
grow. That's kind of why we
Castra
need like
and
this big
Nyx and
focus
Terra
on like, cleaning up
and
entities
so
and
on,
stuff like that. It doesn't just help the game; it also helps the network with the replication and the interaction delay.
So, in order to optimize the binds, what we need to do is properly assess what part of a big bind can be done in parallel with another so that they don't interact with each other. That allows us to go wide, use more lanes to go faster.
The motorway is completely clear. We just can't get the things up the on-ramp fast enough. So what we're trying to do is basically add more on-ramps. So with binds, what that means is we might have the same number of entities that we need to actually get that you want to see updated.
So what they are saying is that they've got the tech to make the servers run is there. The tech to have all the entities run smoothly is there. It's just that they cannot be displayed all at the same time on our client, right? So that's why they're getting those on-ramps so that more and more data comes to us so that everything goes smoother and smoother. So I hope that's my understanding of what it is, right?
But what we can try and do is try and do that faster.
Correct.
So with parallelization, with some clever optimizations, among other things, hopefully.
Oh man, I'm so looking
Progress
forward to the
is
first
looking
jump.
positive. So we've been working on a lot of the more like tedious little details, which has been like kind of like figuring out how we get information into our message queue in the most optimal way possible. But that's also setting us up for being able to then be very clever about how we parallelize the binds.
There we go. I just click on the left click on the mouse, so I open the tunnel. Here we go. Here we go. We are opening it. All right. Entering jump tunnel. Here we go.
It's like everybody's
so smooth.
Everybody's
Okay.
a
I am really
now.
excited to see this progress further. Already the jump gates feel really smooth and reliable to make use of. This is going to make a very exciting addition to the game when it comes to live and opens up so many possibilities for the future. Everyone at CIG is doing an incredible job of bringing this to reality. Amazing work all round.
All right. So now that I've kind
Oh, I
of
love
let the
even
FPS
these.
kind of catch up with me here, and I'm kind of trying to let all the shaders load. So that's hopefully a lot of what you're
No,
seeing.
those
with Luna,
planets,
and it's
they
not
look
just
fantastic.
optimization
I think
issues,
Pyro 4 is
but
looking
it's
even
starting
better
to feel
than Pyro
better
3.
now that I'm kind of just standing here for a moment.
We really think that unlocking that will allow us to go to at least 10x performance on the versus the current game experience on live, which is at 100 players. But this will also allow us to uncover more layers of the onion that we can optimize to go at even higher numbers on one single hybrid, which will allow us to go bigger, just like we did with RMQ from NMQ, just like we did with the 30 variables up to.
I'm telling you guys, one day we're gonna get sooner than you expect. You will get to 1,000 players per shard. We've already tried with just Stanton, right? We've already tried 1,000 player. It was a big mess, of course. The game is not ready for that because there's just not enough space for all the players at the bases and the landing zones. But that's what is going to be happening. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be live everywhere, the players everywhere, ships everywhere. But one day they'll be able to make it.
Optimizations, binds will allow us to go further, but it's not the end of the tunnel. We still have more work to do to get even more player counts on one hybrid.
All right. We're gonna see what's inside here. Oh my god.
Yeah,
this is so crazy. Oh, too much light.
Un joueur incroyable. Bonjour monsieur.
The visuals are crazy.
We want to push further, and the message from Chris is go as big as we can, as quickly as
That's
we can.
the spirit.
We want to do that in a way that delivers
As big and as
a
quickly
better
as we can.
feeling,
That's
more
the spirit.
responsive
That's what we
game.
want to hear.
We're not just going to jump to big numbers just because we can. There's nothing stopping us going and putting a couple more zeros at the end of the player cap, but that's not going to lead to a good experience until we...
Can you imagine? It's like, let's add another 10,000 players, right? and we're gonna let that. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about the frames per second on the server. It's just like the trams are going to be full. Like there will be, there's gonna be huge lines outside of the trams just to get inside the trams. That's where the bottlenecks are gonna be. Nobody's gonna be able to get into the elevators as well because there's just way too many players. We need to have more locations in the verse to have more players per shards. That's the reality right now. That's why we're also going to be pushing towards more star systems, Nyx, Castra, Terra eventually, right? We have to.
We continue to address the bottlenecks that we know we have, and more that we'll discover as we go forward.
We have a lot that we can improve on, and a lot of that looks very, very intimidating. But I'm excited would probably be the emotion to kind of use for it, because we've spent so long trying to figure out how we can do server meshing that we've not really had a chance to kind of slow down and look. And now we're kind of in that phase where we can kind of look at where things that have existed for the past 10 years can be improved. And being able to then tear out huge systems and replace them with NMQ and RMQ, and really try and make the best thing that we possibly can is really exciting.
Now, what really reassures me when I watch this video is that they seem very confident about what they're doing, right? They seem to know what they're talking about, versus what we heard about server meshing 2 years ago. Everything seemed always, very vague and theoretical. Everything seems so concrete. We've seen the progress also happening. And when I hear that, when I hear all of that, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel very confident we're heading toward the right track, right? This is sounding very promising. We'll see how quickly this develops, right? Of course.
So what did we learn this week? That the progress of moving server meshing forward is only made possible with the help of testers like you. That each new win like RMQ peels back another layer of the performance onion to be addressed next. Like binds,
cool
which since the time these interviews were
nice.
recorded have made tremendous progress and are already revealing the next layers underneath. And that this work doesn't stop with the upcoming Alpha 4.0, because as the game grows to the sights set in Star Citizen 1.0 and beyond, so too must the efforts to continuously
One day,
optimize.
one server
And I
will
want
be
to
one
give
ship, you
special
will see.
thanks to Star Citizens Adder Moth, Citizen Kate and Will, Dominguez, Even Lease, Hybrid V, Le Regular, tried, Morphologist, Ollie43, Speedfragger, and Torada, as well as everyone else who's been documenting this process from the other side of the table. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development with you. And as next week is IAE, instead of ISC, there's going to be something a little bit different coming your way next Friday.
All right, come on, please bring Jax. Jax needs to come back, please. Please. Last year there was no Jax. It sucked. He needs to
We'll
come
see you
back.
there.
All right, great episode. I love those behind the scenes, those explanations, and I hope to see more of those, right? Next week is going to be special, so we'll see what CIG is going to be cooking for us, but we'll be looking forward to their next episode in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For more Star Citizen Reacts, hit that subscribe button, like the button for more, and I'll see you guys in the next time.